Bear with us, guys. We're going to wait on a quorum. I do apologize. Well, actually, we're doing a hearing only, but I do want a few more people here to hear it. So if everybody hold tight just a minute, and I apologize for the delay. All right, folks, just for the sake of time, we're going to go ahead and get this thing started. Representative Neal is here to present House Resolution 581. If you don't mind stepping up to or come to the table and to present, I would appreciate it.
All right. Hello, hello.
Got the glasses on, getting
Hey.
real, about to get serious,
I
folks.
had to get serious. All right. So, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to the committee for the privilege to come before you today. Today I present to you House Resolution 581. Now, this has not been done before, so let me walk you through the vision. Essentially, the resolution is an extension of the HOPE program that allows for students to take their HOPE allotment and convert it and use it as startup business funds. HOPE recipients who would prefer to take a different path instead of going to traditional college and accepting HOPE in its traditional form, this provides for the option to select entrepreneurship as an option. This resolution gives the citizens the opportunity to decide if they want to give Georgia students a head start on entrepreneurship. Of course, enabling legislation would come afterward. With this concept, nothing about the current program changes. The program will still operate under the same conditions we currently have. Under this resolution, nothing about HOPE or who qualifies changes. Nothing at all. After a number of meetings over the past year, which consisted of Georgia Student Finance Commission, Technical Colleges of Georgia, bankers associations, and more, we found that it would be easier to provide this program by having it to operate utilizing methods that were already in place. It would allow for us to fund the initiative, then in a bipartisan manner outline how we want to construct the program. The potential process, it should be outlined in your booklet. The students will come from their high school or what have you, or college, enter into the Technical College Entrepreneurship Certificate Program. HOPE pays the full tuition. Right now, it's looking like it'll be less than $5,000 through the tech schools. Student attends the courses, and moving into their second quarter, their businesses and their business needs are assessed. The businesses are funded with startup funds at that point. If additional funds are needed outside of the HOPE allotment, students will be guided to partnering banks to establish relationships and acquire funding. The student graduates with credentials in under 2 years, the business started, capital, banking relationship, established credit, and of course there'll be a job creator. Currently, the Georgia Student Finance Commission currently houses HOPE and other programs as well. And the Georgia Student Finance Commission will continue to house this initiative as well. My goals are simple, to give young people a chance to try. We call it HOPE for a reason. The name of the program as a whole is not by accident. We will give Georgians a chance to go for a dream that they have, providing immediate support for the young visionaries that are right here in this state. So with that, before you now is a document that kind of outlines the program that the money that the Constitutional Amendment will be wrapped around. When the bill passed out of Economic Development last year, the request was, hey, can we see where the money can directly go to be accountable and have a direct line and show kind of where every dollar goes. Because before, without having that, it's kind of hard to quantify what that would look like. So as you look through the document that I provided, it outlines in the end, at the last 2-3 pages, it gives you an outline of what the potential curriculum could look like, and this would walk the business owner through from beginning to end, from the business plan to walking them through all aspects of owning the business. And once they actually have the business up and running during the program, they're still going to be mentored all the way until the end. So with that being said, the goal is to have less red tape that is usually associated with acquiring traditional loans for young people. And this program is a solution for that. And I am open to any questions you might have.
All right, we have questions. Number 24. Is that Representative Walensky?
Thank you, Chair. I'll just start by saying I don't have too many questions right now. I would like to flesh it out, but I do have to say that the amount of, can you turn up my mic, make it louder? Just messing with you, Chair. Just so much echo from these big teeth. But the amount of money that goes into college and graduate programs when people could enter the workforce and not only grow entrepreneurship and do a great job in business, but also contribute to the tax dollars for the state. I think this is a great idea and can really help people get started earlier in life at something they have to wait for sometimes no reason. So thank you for bringing this.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for the comment, because what we found is there are a number of young people that need funds for even the smallest ventures. And oftentimes it's under $10,000. Like, you'd be amazed at the small amounts of money they need to have something take off the ground. And I would hate to think that we have like the next owner of Facebook who, the next creator of like a Facebook or Instagram who, can't afford a laptop. It's just one of those things you think about. So I think this is a great initiative to account for students across the board.
Yeah, and not only a laptop, but also pay for the internet to use the laptop. So
Exactly.
I'm with you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that question, Representative or Chairman Jasper. 17.
Sir, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, we were looking at this bill this morning, and the first thing I just thought of, ma'am, was, you talk about replacing or taking the proceeds for one or more games operated within the lottery. So what dollars, this is going to take money that's currently going into the education funds. So what would replace those dollars that are going into education currently?
So, thank you for the question. So this money is actually money they would have been awarded anyway through traditional hope. So like I mentioned before, when it comes to everything staying the same, everything about this process stays the same. The only thing that changes is when they get ready to get funded for their next quarter or next semester of their courses, they have the option to, instead of taking a course of traditional schooling, they can convert that money and be able to actually use it to start up a business. But the condition is they have to be registered for the Tech School Entrepreneurship Certificate Program.
Okay. Can I keep on? Just a couple of the questions yet. No, thanks. So, I know we don't see this is just the constitutional amendment part,
Yes.
but the action part, do you have that drawn up yet? The associated bill that would accompany this?
No, we do not have that drawn up yet.
Yeah, because mine, I guess, specifically is the oversight of these loans. Who's going to look after them? Who's going to make sure? are they going to be repaid? Are they not? Are they grants? The qualifications to get them, it really isn't spelled out in here that I can see.
So that's the thing. So when I mentioned that nothing about it changes, merit-based, everything stays the same. So the qualifications to get HOPE, the 3.0, what have you, all of those things stay the same. The same qualifications you need to get HOPE are the exact same qualifications you need to get.
Well, I guess I was specifically talking about the loans that are within it. Mm-hmm. I'd be all for if they had some kind of, drawn out like how they would be repaid, if they are, if they're not, all that kind of stuff.
And I would need to look and see what draft you have. It shouldn't say loans. It should say funds. So,
well, I think I'm on L 490719 that was put on our table on line 14.
Yeah, let me check.
It says purposes to provide for loans to support small businesses located in Georgia.
Yeah, that was it seems like the substitute didn't make it. Yeah, so there should be a substitute. I'm not sure why it's not showing, but it's not a loan. So once the students get funding, it's not a loan format. It would feel more like a grant format. It's not a loan. So there wouldn't need to be any repayment of any sort of anything like that. We're not doing that.
So what type of dollar amount are we talking about that would be in this grant fund?
So that's the thing. So it depends on the business. So one student might need $1,000. Another student might need $3,000. So
well, I guess what I'm asking is, would you be requesting $20 million to fund this, or 14 or 10, or does it have to be a dollar attachment to the grant or loan that we would have to know about? Because that money truly would be coming out of some sort of education funding that's out there now.
Right. So when it comes to how it's funded, and I want to make sure I'm clear referencing Georgia Student Finance, but it would still be coming from the same allotment that would have been going to the student if they would have chosen the traditional route. So say, for instance, if they were going to get $3,000 to go to UGA, if when you do the assessment of that student, they still have access to the $3,000, but instead of going to UGA with that money, they can convert it and use it as a startup loan for their business. So, and when I spoke to Student Finance, I didn't get a posture that there was going to be, or the need to have a large amount of money set aside, because since we're using the same model that they currently have, it will be pulling from and using the same model that they have when they're just traditionally funding the traditional school routes. And I can definitely speak to them in reference to that, and I think they might be here today if I'm not mistaken. But they're, nothing changes. And from what I was advised, there does not need to be a separate set of money set aside for anything.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other questions? Do we have people that are here to speak on the bill for or against it? You mean we got a Hope scholarship bill in here and Hope's not here talking to us about the bill? So we could theoretically change Hope forever and nobody would here to be to fight it? Interesting. Yeah. They wouldn't go too far down the road, I don't guess. Nope. Okay. Yeah, I got you. Okay. With no further questions and nobody else to speak on the bill, this was hearing only. I would offer two suggestions.
Yes, sir.
First one being, if you do have a sub, if you can get that to Jan, that would be great.
Yeah.
And the other one is maybe go ahead and take a stab at that that legislation if this passed, so you'll have it to show them kind of what your thought, where you're headed with it. I think it's a good idea. I mean, I was a kid in college that went through the motions just because I knew I wanted to be in business one day, and so I probably wasted a lot of the state's money down at Georgia when I could have just been out flipping hamburgers and moving on in the restaurant world. So I think it's a good stab at a solution that says, look, college is not for everybody. So I appreciate you bringing it. And obviously these kids qualified for Hope, so they're smart kids. It's not like we're throwing money up in the air and, you know, there's some, you just put some guardrails around it.
Yes.
And have that so that these folks know, hey, if this did pass, this is kind of what I'm thinking. We do pass constitutional amendments and come back and do the legislation later, so that is a
Yes.
process that we do with gaming and other things. So
Yeah.
I think that is a conversation.
Now, point of clarification, or two. One, so you would prefer me have a draft of enabling legislation for the next presentation?
Yeah, that's right. So just have something showing everybody where you're headed. You know, what are you thinking and where you're headed with it. It doesn't have to be concrete, but I think it's good to show folks.
Okay. And to the chairman to your left,
Chairman Jaspers.
so if I were to provide enabling legislation, would I be successful in garnering your support?
We'd have to see what it is.
Okay.
I mean, that's not,
Gotcha. Yeah.
better than if you didn't.
Yes, yes,
Let's put it
yes.
that way.
All right. I can do that.
Representative, I appreciate you bringing the measure, and without any other business, we are adjourned.